Step outside the wall. This is outside the wall. Outside the wall.
Welcome to Outside the Walls, the podcast where we explore the invisible walls that quietly shape our lives and discover the freedom waiting on the other side. Over the past 2 episodes, we've talked about the wall of comfort and the wall of fear. Today, we're tackling another wall that often goes unnoticed, but maybe even more powerful, the wall of approval, because life changes outside the walls. Have you ever made a decision you didn't really believe in simply because you were worried about what someone else would think? Maybe you stayed in the job, maybe you stayed silent in the meeting, maybe you never signed up for the race, wrote the book, or had the difficult conversation. Not because you couldn't, but because someone might disapprove. And here's the interesting thing. Most of us would say that we really don't care what other people think, but if we're candid, many of our biggest decisions are quietly influenced by exactly that. The question isn't whether approval affects us. The question is how much of your life has been built around earning it. When we were children, approval serves a purpose. We want to please our parents and have them smile. We want our teachers to praise us. We want our coaches to put us in the game. Approval helps us learn. It helps us grow. But somewhere along the way, something changes. Instead of learning from feedback, we begin living for applause. The names change. Parents become bosses. Teachers become coworkers, and classmates become social media. And before long, we're measuring our lives against expectations we never intentionally accepted. One of my favorite coaches, John Wooden, once said, "Never let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do." And I'd add something to that. Never let what someone else expects interfere with whom you're becoming. I recently heard someone ask a question that stopped me in my tracks. They said, "Whose voice is making this decision?" Think about that. When you're about to make a big choice, whose voice are you hearing? Is it your own? Or is it the voice of someone who doubted you years ago? Is it the opinion of someone that you'll probably never see or hear from again? Is it the pressure to keep everyone else comfortable? Sometimes we're not living our lives. We're managing everyone else's expectations, and that's exhausting. And here's the irony. No matter how hard you try, you will never receive unanimous approval. You cannot please everyone. Someone will think you're too ambitious. Someone else will think you're not ambitious enough. Someone will think you've changed. Someone will wonder why you never did. You can't win at that game because the rules keep changing depending on who's watching. One of the things I love about sports is the greatest athletes eventually learn this lesson. The crowd cheers one week and boos the next. A player could hit the game-winning shot on Friday and miss one on Sunday. If an athlete bases their confidence on the crowd's reaction, their confidence will rise and fall with every single game. Best competitors, they don't ignore feedback, but they refuse to let the crowd define who they are. And there's a lot of wisdom in that because life has plenty of crowds, coworkers, neighbors, friends, and those people online. The question isn't whether you'll hear their voices. The question is whether you'll let those voices become louder than your own values. Here's something worth remembering. The people whose approval you chase today probably won't be living your life tomorrow. They won't wake up with your regrets. They won't carry your unrealized dreams, and they won't answer for the opportunities you never pursued. Guess who does? That would be you. Sure, respect other people's opinions. Listen with humility, learn from wise counsel, but don't surrender your purpose just to avoid someone's criticism. because every meaningful decision comes with the possibility that someone won't understand. And that's okay. You don't need everyone's permission to become who you are capable of becoming. So this week, I want to leave you with one simple question. When you find yourself hesitating, ask yourself, whose voice is that? And then ask even a better question. Is that the voice I want shaping my future? Because if everyone gets a vote in your life, eventually you lose yours. The life waiting outside these walls isn't reserved for people who pleased everyone. It's found by the people who had the courage to live with purpose, even when not everyone understood. This is episode 3 of the 10 Walls series. And if this message resonated with you, I encourage you to go back and listen to the previous episodes of the series that started with the wall of comfort.
This is outside the wall. Outside the wall.
The walls may be invisible, but they don't have to define your life. I'm Dave Gast, and until next time, life changes outside the walls.